Hello there.
And welcome to the Dozing Explorer. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight.
There is no need to keep track of anything. No need to follow any complex story. Your mind has done enough for one day. Now it is time to rest. Tonight we're going to drift
And wander.
into a quiet mathematical whisper. We are going to explore a single, silent number. A number that has been given many names. The golden ratio, the divine proportion. A hidden code that artists, architects and naturalists have sensed for thousands of years, hiding just beneath the surface of our world. We will not be doing any difficult mathematics. We are just going to drift and to look at the patterns it leaves behind. We'll listen for this silent signature in the unfurling of a fern, the spiraling seeds of a sunflower, the vast swirling arms of a galaxy, and perhaps even in the very shape of our own being. It is a gentle journey into the harmony that the universe writes for itself. And just before we begin our exploration, if these quiet journeys help you unwind, if they give your mind a safe and gentle place to rest, consider letting us know with a like or by subscribing. It truly helps other sleepy souls find their way here too. But for now, there is nothing at all you need to do.
Your only task is to listen and to let go. Settle into your bed.
Feel the weight of your body being held completely, supported. Take a slow, deep breath.
And let it go.
Let the journey begin. There exists a simple, silent number that has been called divine by artists, mathematicians, and architects for centuries. It is a number known as phi, and it is approximately 1.618. It is not a number that was invented, but rather one that was discovered like a fundamental constant of the universe. It is found in a beautifully simple relationship. Imagine a line divided into two unequal parts, where the ratio of the whole line to the longer part is exactly the same as the ratio of the new longer part to the shorter part. This creates a relationship of perfect balance proportion. It is a quiet mathematical signature woven into the fabric of the things we see. This special number is born from a simple, elegant idea. If you take that line we were imagining and you give the shorter part a value of 1, then the longer part must be 1.618, and the total length of the line would be 2.618. The relationship is always there, no matter the size. This simple division, this golden section, has been studied for millennia, from the ancient pyramids to the halls of Greek academies. It was seen not just as a tool for building, but as a key to understanding beauty itself. It is the geometry of harmony. The golden ratio, phi, is what is known as an irrational number. This is a gentle term, and it simply means that its decimal places stretch on forever and ever. Waft to 6/339,
And on and on.
never repeating, never falling into a predictable pattern. It is a number that cannot be written down as a simple fraction. Much like its famous cousin pi, it is a fundamental piece of the universe's language, a number that whispers of infinity. It is a numerical echo of the endless. This special number is intimately connected to another famous mathematical sequence, the Fibonacci sequence. You may remember this simple pattern. It starts with 0 and 1, and then you simply add the last two numbers to get the next. So 0,
1,
2, 3,
5, 8,
13, 21, 34.
and so on forever.
It is a pattern that even a child can create, a simple, rhythmic staircase of numbers. It is a code that life itself seems to follow. The magic happens when you see how these two concepts
Phi and Fibonacci.
are woven together. If you take any two consecutive numbers in that Fibonacci staircase and you divide the larger one by the smaller one, say 13 divided by 8 or 21 divided by 13, the result gets closer and closer to 1.618. The further you go up the sequence, the more precise the ratio becomes, as if it is slowly zeroing in on this one perfect, divine number. It is a hidden bridge between simple addition and cosmic proportion. We can also draw this ratio, giving it a shape that we can see. This shape is known as the golden rectangle. It is a simple rectangle, but its side lengths are in the golden ratio. One side is 1 and the other is 1.618. It is said to be the most balanced and harmonious rectangular shape, pleasing to the human eye in a way we can't always explain. It is a window that feels perfectly balanced. The true magic of the golden rectangle is what happens when you draw a line to cut off a perfect square. If you take a golden rectangle and remove a perfect square from one end, the shape that is left behind is not just any rectangle. It is a new, perfectly formed, smaller golden rectangle. You can then take a square from that rectangle, and the piece left over will be another, even smaller golden rectangle. You can do this forever. It is a window into infinity. Now, if you draw a gentle, flowing arc through the corners of these nested squares, starting in the largest and spiraling inwards, or starting in the smallest and spiraling outwards, you create one of the most famous and beautiful shapes in all of nature. You create the golden spiral. It is a logarithmic spiral, a shape that grows in size but never, ever changes its fundamental form. It is the universe's favorite curve. This beautiful number is also found in a special angle. If you take a full circle, 360 degrees, and you divide it by the golden ratio, you get an angle of approximately 222.5 degrees. The smaller angle that is left over, the angle on the other side, is the golden angle. It is approximately 137.5 degrees. This very specific, irrational angle is nature's secret to packing things perfectly. It is a geometry of efficiency. The number phi gets its name from a tribute to an ancient artist. The Greek sculptor Phidias, who lived over 2,400 years ago, is said to have used this ratio to create the stunning sculptures of the Parthenon in Athens. In the 1900s, mathematicians began using the first letter of his name, the Greek letter phi, as a way to honor him and to give this timeless, nameless number a simple, elegant title. It is a modern name for an ancient idea. For centuries before it was called phi, this number had a much more poetic name. The Italian Renaissance mathematician Luca Pacioli, who was a close friend of Leonardo da Vinci, wrote an entire book about it. He called it De Divina Proportione, or the divine proportion. He saw this number not just as a mathematical tool, but as a representation of divine heavenly beauty, a secret of God's creation. It was a number that connected the earth to the heavens. This golden number has a mathematical sibling, a shadow number that is just as special. While phi is 1.618, its counterpart, sometimes called little phi, is 0.68. They are forever linked. This smaller number is simply the inverse of phi. It is what you get if you divide 1 by 1.618, but it is also, beautifully, the number you get if you simply subtract 1 from 1.618. It is a perfect, self-contained mathematical family. The mathematics of phi are as simple as they are profound. If you take the golden ratio, 1.618, and you square it, you get 2.680. This new number is astonishingly the exact same as 1.618 plus 1. This simple, elegant equation, phi squared equals phi plus 1, is a key to its unique power. It is a number that grows by adding itself. This number's inverse is just as elegant. As we saw, if you divide 1 by phi, you get 0.618, which is the same as phi minus 1. This unique relationship makes it incredibly powerful in mathematics. It means its properties can be expressed in simple, whole terms. It is a number that contains its own reflection, a perfect mirror of itself. The golden ratio can be expressed as a continued fraction, which sounds complex, but is a beautiful, poetic idea. It means phi is equal to 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 divided by 1, and so on forever. A ladder of ones descending into infinity. If you stop at any point on this ladder, you get a Fibonacci ratio. It is a staircase that builds itself step by step towards perfection. Because of this unique fractional property, phi is sometimes called the most irrational number. While all irrational numbers go on forever, phi is, in a sense, the slowest to be approximated by fractions.
This is what makes it so special for nature.
This property means that when a plant uses the golden angle, it creates the most even, well-spaced and stable arrangement possible. It is a pattern that refuses to repeat itself. The great astronomer Johannes Kepler, who discovered the laws of planetary motion, was also enchanted by this number. He wrote that geometry has two great treasures. One is the theorem of Pythagoras, and the other is the division of a line into the golden ratio. He called the first one a measure of gold, but he called the second one a precious jewel. He saw it as a shimmering, perfect piece of the cosmos. The golden ratio's elegance is hidden in plain sight, in the simple shape of a five-pointed star, the pentagram. If you draw a pentagram, the lines inside will cross each other, dividing each other into new, smaller segments. Every single place they cross, they divide each other in the perfect golden ratio. The ratio of the long segment to the short segment is always 1.6 out of 18. It is a shape built entirely from this one divine proportion. The pentagram was a sacred and secret symbol for the Pythagoreans, an ancient school of Greek mystics and mathematicians. To them, it was not just a shape, but a symbol of health, of life, and of the hidden mathematical harmony of the cosmos. Drawing it and seeing the golden ratio appear over and over was a way of touching the divine. It was a secret key to the universe. Just as there is a golden rectangle, there is also a golden triangle. This is a triangle where the ratio of the long sides to the short base is,
Once again,
the golden ratio. And just like the rectangle, this triangle has a magical property. If you bisect one of the base angles, the line cuts off a new, smaller golden triangle. You can do this on and on, spiraling inward forever. It is another gateway to infinity. It is natural to wonder if phi and pi, those two most famous endless numbers,
are related.
For a long time, it was hoped a deep, elegant connection existed. While there is no simple, direct formula, they do touch each other in surprising, subtle ways in higher mathematics, like two different expressions of the universe's complexity. They are two different poems written by the same hidden author. The golden ratio appears in a profound, modern discovery known as a periodic tiling. This is a way of tiling a floor or a surface with a few simple shapes, but the pattern they create never, ever repeats.
No matter how large the floor, the pattern is never predictable.
The secret to making this orderly, yet non-repeating, pattern is the golden ratio. It is the geometry of orderly chaos. This idea was made famous by Sir Roger Penrose, who created Penrose tiles. These two simple, diamond-shaped tiles, when laid down according to specific rules, can cover an infinite plane without ever creating a repeating pattern. The ratio of the two types of tiles in this infinite pattern is, of course, the golden ratio. It is a floor plan for infinity. All of this complexity, all of this harmony, comes from an astonishingly simple origin. The golden ratio, phi, is simply one of the two solutions to a very simple quadratic equation. X squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. From this humble, simple string of three terms, all of this beauty, the spirals, the rectangles, the growth of plants, emerges. It is a universe of complexity born from perfect simplicity. There is a deep, quiet comfort in contemplating this number. It suggests a feeling of wholeness, a sense that the parts of our world, from the large to the small, are all related. The relationship of the small part to the large part,
And the large part to the whole,
is a gentle, harmonious echo. It is a reminder that everything is connected. There is a beautiful, scientific word for the way plants arrange their leaves, petals, and seeds. It is called phyllotaxis, which comes from the Greek words for leaf and arrangement. Botanists have spent centuries marveling at this phenomenon, this silent mathematical precision in a simple,
non-thinking organism.
It is the study of nature's living geometry. The head of a common sunflower is perhaps the most famous and beautiful example of this. It is not a random scattering of seeds, but a perfect, interlocking grid. If you look closely, you will see two sets of spirals, one set curving gently to the left and another set curving to the right, crossing over each other. It is a perfect living mosaic. The truly magical part of the sunflower is what happens when you count these spirals. You will almost always find a pair of consecutive Fibonacci numbers. A small sunflower might have 34 spirals in one direction and 55 in the other. A large one might have 89 and 144. This precise arrangement, born from the golden angle, is the most efficient way possible to pack the maximum number of seeds into a circular head, ensuring each one has the space it needs. It is the geometry of abundance. You can find this same quiet mathematics in a humble pine cone. The woody scales on a pine cone are also arranged in two sets of spirals that rise from the base to the tip. If you count these spirals, you will once again find a pair of Fibonacci numbers such as 5 and 8 or 8 and 13. This tight, interlocking pattern provides the best possible protection for the precious seeds held within. It is a tiny wooden fortress built with perfect mathematics. Even the fruit you find in a market follows this gentle rule. Take a pineapple and look at the rough diamond-shaped scales on its skin. These scales also form two sets of spirals that wrap around the fruit. Count them, and you will find two Fibonacci numbers like 8 and 13. It is the same mathematical law expressed in a different tropical form. It is a hidden structural rhythm. The bracts of an artichoke, the leafy, fleshy parts that we peel away, are another beautiful example. They are not placed randomly. They are arranged in those same left and right curving spirals, following the Fibonacci code. As the artichoke head grows, it follows this pattern, protecting the delicate flower heart held safely within its center. It is nature's elegant efficiency repeated over and over. When a new fern is about to grow, it emerges from the earth in a tightly coiled spiral. This shape, often called a fiddlehead, is a perfect logarithmic spiral. As the fern unfurls, it is as if we are watching the golden spiral straighten itself out, transforming from a coil of potential into a long, branching frond. It is the shape of new life unfolding. The secret to all of this is that 137.5-degree golden angle. As a plant's stem grows, it produces a new leaf. Then it turns
137.5 degrees.
And produces the next.
Then it turns again 137.5 degrees.
And produces the next. Because this angle is so irrational, so perfectly non-repeating, no new leaf ever grows exactly above an old one. This is the plant's elegant, simple solution to a vital problem. By using this golden angle, the plant ensures that the leaves above do not perfectly block the precious sunlight for the leaves below. It creates the most open, efficient structure possible, allowing the entire plant to reach for the light and to catch the rain. It is a silent, elegant dance for the sun. The branching of trees often follows this same quiet, additive pattern.
A main trunk will grow and then it will split into two.
Those branches will grow and perhaps split again, and the number of branches at each level can often follow the Fibonacci sequence.
A single trunk becomes 2,
then 3,
then 5,
then 8. This pattern allows the tree to maximize its canopy, spreading its leaves wide to create a vast living net to catch the sunlight. The number of petals on a flower is one of nature's most common Fibonacci signatures. Lilies, for example, have 3 petals. Buttercups have 5. Delphiniums often have 8. Marigolds can have 13 and asters 21. It is not a universal rule, but it is a tendency so strong that it feels like a gentle suggestion, a preferred pattern for nature's blossoms. It is a numerical fingerprint on a flower. A lily with its 3 petals and a columbine with its 5 are simple, clear examples. A buttercup, also with 5 petals, is another. These are some of the most ancient and simple flower structures, and they are born with this mathematical identity. It is as if the first, simplest flowers knew this sequence by heart. The petals of a rose are a more complex, but just as beautiful example. They do not all open at once. They are layered in a tight, protective spiral. This spiraling arrangement, which unfurls as the rose blooms, protects the center of the flower and follows the same logarithmic curves we have seen before. It is a blossom of pure geometry. This pattern is not just for flowers and leaves. It is for food. If you look at a head of cauliflower, you will not see a random clump of florets. You will see a central floret with other florets spiraling off from it, which in turn have smaller florets spiraling off from them. The number of these spirals is, again, a Fibonacci number. It is a fractal of spirals. This fractal spiraling is even more clear in Romanesco broccoli. This incredible vegetable looks like a piece of alien art, a collection of tiny, cone-shaped towers. Each tower is a perfect logarithmic spiral, and each of those towers is made of even smaller logarithmic spirals. It is one of the most visible, stunning examples of a 3D fractal in the natural world. It is mathematics you can eat. Dessert plants, which must be so careful with water and sunlight, are masters of this form. The leaves of an agave or the fleshy petals of a succulent like an echeveria are arranged in a perfect, tight spiral. This arrangement allows the plant to channel any small amount of dew or rain directly down to its own roots, a living, leafy funnel for water. The spines on a cactus are also placed with this mathematical precision. They emerge from points on the cactus's skin called areoles, and these areoles are arranged in those same Fibonacci spirals. This ensures the most even, complete covering of sharp spines, providing the best possible defense against thirsty animals. It is a fortress of mathematics. The seed pod of a poppy, after the flower has faded, becomes a small, hard, crown-shaped container. The seeds inside are protected, and they will only be released when the pod is shaken by the wind. The number of chambers inside this pod, or the small openings at the top, is often a Fibonacci number. It is a perfect, tiny, natural vessel.
This hidden code is even there in an apple.
If you cut an apple in half, sideways, not through the stem, you will reveal a 5-pointed star in the center. Each point of the star holds a seed. This 5-fold symmetry, as we have seen in the pentagram, is a direct, physical expression of the golden ratio. It is a secret 5-pointed star hidden in a simple fruit. Just as there is a golden rectangle, there is also a golden triangle. This is a triangle where the ratio of the long sides to the short base is,
once again,
the golden ratio. And just like the rectangle, this triangle has a magical property. If you bisect one of the base angles, the line cuts off a new, smaller golden triangle. You can do this on and on, spiraling inward forever. It is another gateway to infinity. It is natural to wonder if phi and pi, those two most famous endless numbers,
are related.
For a long time, it was hoped a deep, elegant connection existed. While there is no simple, direct formula, they do touch each other in surprising, subtle ways in higher mathematics, like two different expressions of the universe's complexity. They are two different The tiny seeds on the outside of a strawberry are not scattered at random. They too are arranged in spiraling patterns that curve around the fruit. They are following the same law as the sunflower and the pinecone. It is a gentle reminder that the same mathematical rules apply to the large and the very small. Even the growth of moss on a stone, a process so slow it is almost imperceptible, follows these rules. A patch of moss will grow outwards in a shape that is roughly circular, but the new growth at the edges often forms in subtle, spiraling patterns, a slow-motion explosion of green. It is a soft, living carpet of geometry. One might wonder why. Why do all these plants follow this one rule? The answer is beautifully simple. It is not a conscious choice. It is the result of a simple, efficient algorithm for growth. As the growing tip of the plant, the meristem, produces new parts, a new leaf, a new seed, a new petal, it does so in the most efficient, least crowded way possible. And that way just is the golden angle. This process is guided by a plant hormone called auxin. Auxin flows to the growing tip, and new leaves or seeds form at a point with the lowest concentration of this hormone. The previous leaf creates a low spot, and the most efficient, stable place for the next low spot to form is 137.5 degrees away. It is a simple chemical reaction creating perfect, complex geometry. The golden ratio, then, can be thought of as nature's default setting for packing and for growth. It is the path of least resistance. It is the simplest, most stable and most efficient way to arrange parts in a growing system, whether it is a plant reaching for the sun or a seed head packing for the future. It is the geometry of life itself. This mathematical stability also provides physical strength. A pine cone or a sunflower head arranged in this interlocking, non-repeating pattern is stronger and more resilient than a simple, grid-like arrangement would be. It distributes stress and impact evenly. It is a pattern that is both beautiful and robust. It is a comforting thought to walk through a simple garden and know that you are surrounded by this silent, unspoken mathematics. The rose, the lily, the pine cone, the apple, they are all, in their own quiet way, expressing the same fundamental harmonious number. It is a gallery of living, breathing equations. If you look closely at the bark of a pine tree or an oak, you will see the texture of its growth. The ridges and valleys often form subtle, elongated spiral patterns as the tree has grown and twisted slowly towards the light over decades. It is a physical record of its slow upward spiral through time. The root systems of plants hidden beneath the earth often mirror the branching patterns we see above. They branch out, dividing and subdividing, following the Fibonacci pattern to explore the soil, to find water, and to anchor the plant to the earth. It is a perfect, symmetrical echo hidden in the darkness. The way a climbing vine, like ivy, searches for the sun is another form of this spiral. It grows and sends out tendrils, which circle and explore as they seek a hold. This gentle, spiraling motion is its way of sensing the world around it, reaching out for the light and for support. It is a living, searching curve, this feeling. The sense of life as a form of unfolding geometry is a profoundly peaceful one. It suggests that growth is not a chaotic, random struggle, but an orderly, elegant, and predictable unfolding.
A spiral of life. Now let us drift from the garden
and into the deep, quiet ocean. Here we find the most famous, most perfect golden spiral in the animal kingdom. It is the shell of the deep-sea nautilus. This creature, a living fossil, has been drifting through the oceans for hundreds of millions of years.
almost unchanged. The nautilus lives in the outermost,
largest chamber of its beautiful pearlescent shell. As it grows, it does not discard its old home. It simply builds a new, larger chamber in front of the old one and moves its body forward. It then seals off the old chamber with a new wall. Each new chamber is perfectly proportional to the last, following the golden ratio. This precise additive growth means the nautilus shell grows larger and larger, but its shape, its perfect logarithmic spiral,
never ever changes.
It is a physical, mineral record of its own gentle growth, a living staircase that it carries on its back. It is the emblem of natural perfection. Long ago, the ancestors of the nautilus, the ammonites, filled the ancient seas. These creatures are now gone, but they left behind their fossilized shells turned to stone. These fossils, which we can find in rocks all over the world, are also perfect golden spirals. A silent mineral echo of a life that ended 200 million years ago. They are fossils made of pure mathematics. This logarithmic spiral, the miraculous spiral as it is sometimes called, is found in other seashells too. The vast echoing shape of a conch shell which seems to hold the sound of the ocean is another expression of this form. As the animal grows, its shell spirals outwards, always in proportion. It is a stone lullaby shaped by the sea. Let us drift back to the land.
And look at the horns of a bighorn sheep.
These horns are a symbol of strength and dominance, and they too grow in a logarithmic spiral. They curve up, back, and around, and their shape continues to grow in proportion throughout the animal's life. It is a curve of pure animal strength. The elegant, twisted horns of a kudu antelope, which can grow to be several feet long, are another form of this spiral. They are a helix, a spiral in 3 dimensions, a shape that is both beautiful and functional for defense. It is another example of how nature uses this form to build strong, resilient structures. Even the gentle, curving tusk of an elephant or the ancient woolly mammoth grows in a slow, logarithmic arc. This shape, which is just a single tooth growing continuously, is strong and efficient. It is a tool, a weapon, and a symbol, all described by the same gentle geometric curve. Let us look at the very small. A seahorse's tail is not a fin, but a grasping tool used to anchor itself to a piece of coral or seaweed so it does not drift away in the current. When it is not in use, this tail is coiled in a perfect flat spiral. It is a tiny living anchor shaped like a galaxy. In the trees, the chameleon uses its tail in a similar way. It is a fifth limb, a prehensile tool for gripping branches. And when the chameleon is resting, it will often coil this tail into that same familiar tight spiral, a shape of rest, of security, and of perfect balance. The flight path of a peregrine falcon, the fastest animal on Earth, is a masterpiece of physics and geometry. When it dives or stoops to catch its prey, it does not fly in a straight line. It follows a logarithmic spiral path. This seems counterintuitive, but it is a brilliant solution. By flying in this precise spiral, the falcon is able to keep its head at a constant angle, never having to turn it. This allows it to keep its prey perfectly locked in the sharpest, clearest part of its vision, its fovea. It is a deadly, high-speed ballet, choreographed by the golden ratio. Back in the ocean, let us look at the starfish. Most starfish have 5 arms, a perfect 5-fold symmetry. And as we saw with the apple and the pentagram, this 5-fold symmetry is a physical manifestation of the golden ratio, the proportions of its arms, the geometry of its body. It is all related. The same is true for the delicate flattened body of a sand dollar or the intricate spherical shell of a sea urchin. These creatures, all part of the same echinoderm family, are built on a 5-part plan. It is a fundamental blueprint of the sea, and it is based on phi. The connection between this 5-fold symmetry and phi is deep. In a pentagon or a 5-pointed star, the ratio of the diagonal to its side is phi. This is why this symmetry is so rare in the mineral, non-living world of crystals, but so common in the living, biological world. It is the geometry of life, not of rock. If you look at the scales of a fish, you will see a beautiful overlapping pattern. This armor is light, flexible, and strong. The scales are often arranged in a quincunx pattern, the same pattern you see as the 5 on a die, which is, again, related to these efficient spiraling packing arrangements. It is a suit of flexible geometric mail, the swirling, hypnotic patterns in a large school of fish, or a flock of birds, is called a murmuration. This vast, coordinated movement where thousands of individuals move as one seems to be guided by simple rules, and the shapes they form, the vast, swirling vortices,
Often echo the spirals of galaxies and hurricanes.
It is a collective living spiral. The structure of a spider's web is a marvel of engineering. Many spiders build an orb web, a circular grid. They first create a simple radial frame, like the spokes of a wheel. Then they lay down a non-sticky temporary spiral. Finally, they use that as a guide to lay down the capture spiral, a perfect logarithmic spiral made of sticky, elastic silk. It is a trap made of pure geometry. Even the body of a simple ant follows these rules of proportion. The ant's body is divided into 3 sections: the head, the thorax, and the gaster. The relative sizes and proportions of these parts are not random, but are an efficient, time-tested design. Some have suggested their proportions align with the golden ratio, a perfect blueprint for a tiny, industrious life. The dance of a honeybee is its language, a way to tell its sisters the exact direction and distance to a patch of flowers. But the home it returns to, the hive, is a different kind of perfection. The honeycomb is a wall of perfect, interlocking hexagons. This shape, while not directly related to phi, is the most efficient, strongest way to tile a flat plane, a different but related geometric marvel. Let us look at the butterfly, a creature that transforms from a simple caterpillar into a winged marvel. The wings are a canvas of perfect mathematical symmetry, but the proportions within those patterns, the spacing of the eye spots, the divisions of color, often follow these same harmonious golden ratios. They are wings painted by numbers. The eyes on a peacock's feather are a dazzling, iridescent display. These ovoid shapes are not placed at random, but are spaced along the feather's shaft in a way that is proportionally balanced, creating a sense of rhythm and harmony that is breathtaking. It is a pattern designed to mesmerize. The flocking patterns of starlings, a murmuration, are a vast, fluid, living sculpture in the sky. Thousands of birds move as one, creating swirling, spiraling shapes that echo the vortices of water and galaxies. They are following simple rules of proximity, yet from this simplicity a colossal, coordinated beauty emerges. It is a living, breathing cloud of geometry. The simple, sharp claw of a cat, or a lion, or an eagle, is another perfect logarithmic curve. This shape is incredibly strong and efficient, allowing it to grow continuously from the base while always maintaining its sharp, functional point. It is a living, growing tool shaped by the spiral, and when a cat, or a fox, or a dog curls up to sleep, it often tucks itself into a spiral. It tucks its nose under its tail, creating a shape that is both safe and warm, a shape that conserves its own body heat. It is a spiral of pure comfort and rest. In a theoretical and perhaps whimsical sense, even the population of a rabbit colony can be a Fibonacci model. If you imagine a pair of rabbits that mature and reproduce at a set rate, the number of rabbit pairs, month by month, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, follows the sequence perfectly. It is a simple, idealized model, but it shows how these numbers are the very language of growth. In the warm, shallow oceans, coral reefs grow. These are not plants, but vast colonies of tiny animals.
And the way they grow,
branching out, creating complex tree-like structures, follows the same branching rules as the trees on land. It is a living underwater forest built by the same mathematical laws. In the deepest parts of the ocean, the seafloor is covered in a soft, chalky ooze. This ooze is made from the shells of trillions of microscopic creatures called foraminifera, and these tiny, tiny shells, too small for the eye to see, are often perfect, chambered golden spirals. The grandest and the smallest of life's forms all follow this one gentle rule. The simple, ovoid shape of a bird's egg has long been considered a marvel of natural design. It is not a simple ellipse. Mathematicians have shown that the golden egg shape can be drawn using a series of arcs from squares and golden rectangles. It is nature's perfect container, strong and spacious, drawn with geometry's hidden ruler. To look at the animal kingdom, From the shell to the horn, from the falcon's flight to the starfish's arms, is to see a vast gallery of curves and proportions. It is as if the golden ratio is a favorite tool of evolution, a trusted, time-tested blueprint for building strong, efficient, and beautiful forms of life. It is the harmony of the living world. And now, let us turn this gentle gaze inward. Let us consider the human form. For thousands of years, artists and philosophers have believed that we too are built upon this same divine proportion. The most famous exploration of this is, of course, the Vitruvian Man, drawn by Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's famous drawing shows a man standing within a circle and a square, his arms and legs outstretched. It was an illustration of the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius's theory that the human body itself was a model of perfect, divine proportion, a microcosm of the entire universe. It is an icon of human harmony. It has long been claimed that the proportions of the ideal human body are guided by petals. The most famous example is that the ratio of your total height from your head to your toes to the height of your navel from the ground is the golden ratio. It is a theory that suggests we are ourselves a living, walking golden section. This same proportion is said to be found in the human arm. The length from your shoulder to your elbow compared to the length from your elbow to the tip of your middle finger is said to be fafiaida, and the same for the proportions of your forearm to your hand. It is a chain of ratios, a cascade of harmony. The human hand, a marvel of engineering and sensitivity, is said to be a map of the golden ratio. The bones in our fingers,
The phalanges
are 3 separate bones. The length of the first bone compared to the second
and the second to the third
are all said to follow this same cascading 1.618 ratio. This cascade of harmony continues, it is said, from the tip of your middle finger all the way to your wrist. The length of the first 2 bones of your finger compared to the full length of the finger. The length of your finger compared to the length of your palm. It is a system of harmonious nested proportions. Artists and surgeons have created what is known as the golden or divine facial mask. This is a geometric grid built from golden rectangles, pentagrams, and phi proportions. It is said that the faces we as humans perceive as beautiful are the ones that most closely fit this harmonious mathematical grid. This grid suggests that beauty is about balance, the ideal spacing of our eyes, the width of our nose compared to the width of our mouth, the distance from our chin to our lips and our lips to our nose. All of these, it is said, tend towards the golden ratio in a face that we find naturally, effortlessly beautiful. It is the mathematics of attraction. The width of our mouth, it is said, is in perfect phi proportion to the width of our nose. The width of our central 2 teeth are in a golden ratio to their height. The proportions are said to be everywhere, a quiet, subtle scaffolding that builds what we perceive as a harmonious human face. The structure of the human ear, the outer part that we can see, has a shape that is a powerful echo of the golden spiral. The outer cartilage, the pinna, follows this logarithmic curve almost perfectly. Its function is to catch and funnel sound, and it seems nature chose this spiral as the ideal form for the job. It is a living, spiraling receiver for the world's vibrations, and deep within the inner ear, hidden inside the densest bone in the skull, is the cochlea. The cochlea is the spiral-shaped organ that truly allows us to hear. It is a tiny, nautilus shell-shaped structure coiled in a perfect logarithmic spiral that translates the vibrations of the world into the electrical signals of our thoughts. We hear the world through a golden spiral. Let us look at the bronchial tree that is our lungs.
Air enters our body and then branches, and branches,
and branches again into smaller and smaller airways to reach the millions of tiny air sacs. The pattern of this branching, the asymmetrical split of the airways, is said to follow the golden ratio as the most efficient possible way to fill a 3-dimensional space. It is the geometry of breathing. This same efficient branching pattern is found in our circulatory system. The aorta branches, and those arteries branch, and those arterioles branch. A vast fractal tree of blood vessels carrying life to every single cell in the body. This, too, is a system that follows the path of least resistance, a river network based on harmonious, golden branching. And then there is the molecule of life itself, the very blueprint for our entire being, the DNA double helix. This vast, spiraling molecule, the code of all life, has proportions that are a profound, astonishing echo of one full cycle.
One complete twist of the DNA double helix
Measures approximately 34 angstroms long by 21 angstroms wide. And 34. These are two consecutive and famous numbers in the Fibonacci sequence.
Their ratio.
34 divided by 21 is 1.69, an incredibly close approximation of the golden ratio. It is a staggering thought that the very blueprint of life itself, the spiraling ladder that makes us who we are, is built using the divine proportion. It is as if the universe's favorite number is written into the very core of our being. The code of life is a golden code. Let us consider the human heart, the gentle, rhythmic engine of our body, the structure of a healthy heart, the way the muscles spiral around its chambers,
and the very rhythm it maintains,
is a masterpiece of proportion and efficiency. Let us look at the modern world, at the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada. For a long time, it was the tallest freestanding structure in the world, and its proportions, the ratio of the total height to the height of the main observation pod, is 1.618, a colossal concrete structure reaching for the sky, a modern monument to this ancient golden number. The Taj Mahal in India,
often called the most beautiful building in the world,
is a masterpiece of perfect reflective symmetry, but it is also a masterpiece of proportion. The entire facade, the grand central arch, the minarets, the great dome, is said to be organized by the principles of the golden ratio, creating a feeling of profound, restful, and perfect harmony. The great Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris is another building of divine proportion. Built over hundreds of years, its facade is a complex, beautiful story in stone.
And yet,
the divisions of its height, the ground floor, the gallery of kings, the rose window, the towers, are all said to be divided by the golden section. It is a stone prayer written in the language of Fai Fi Du Ti Cui. In the modern world of graphic design, this golden section is a fundamental tool. Designers will use it to create layouts, to design websites, and to craft logos. The famous logos for Pepsi or Apple or Twitter, all of them, it is said, are built upon a scaffolding of golden ratio circles and arcs, creating a symbol that is simple, memorable, and perfectly mathematically balanced. When we look at a design, a poster, a chair, a web page,
and we feel that it just works,
that it feels right, what we are often sensing is this hidden harmony. We may not be conscious of it, but our eye is sensing the balance, the familiar proportional relationship between the parts. It is a quiet, subconscious feeling of rightness. This is what the great artists knew. They used the golden spiral,
or the golden rectangle,
as a hidden roadmap for the viewer's eye. They would place the most important part of the painting, a face, a hand, a distant single light, at the focal point of the spiral, knowing that the human eye would be drawn there naturally and effortlessly. It is a gentle, invisible guide. The golden ratio, then, in art and in design, is a tool for creating visual peace. It creates an order that is not rigid or boring or static, but one that feels organic and alive and dynamic, just like the shell and the flower and the galaxy. It is a way to create a man-made visual lullaby. There is a simple, aesthetic pleasure in seeing a familiar, hidden pattern. When our brain recognizes this phi proportion, a proportion it has seen in flowers and faces and seashells, it feels a sense of comfort, and recognition. It is the pleasure of finding a familiar golden thread woven into the fabric of everything. This is why a photograph or a painting can be made to feel so much more harmonious simply by using the right frame.
A golden mat,
A frame whose proportions are based on creates a balanced, generous space around the image, allowing it to breathe. It is a window that is perfectly proportioned for the art it holds. Even the most simple, ancient objects, like the pottery of ancient Greece, seem to follow these rules. The proportions of a vase, the ratio of its height to its width, the point where the curve is at its widest. These were all chosen to create a shape that was not just useful, but also beautiful and harmonious to the eye and to the hand. Think of a simple, well-made wooden chair, a chair that is truly comfortable and also beautiful to look at. The proportions, the height of the back, the width of the seat, the curve of the arms, are often a study in these harmonious ratios. It is functional art built for the proportions of the human body. In a traditional Japanese tatami room, the layout is not left to chance. The room is built from a number of simple rectangular mats. The proportions of these mats, a 2-to-1 ratio, and the way they are laid out in spiraling, non-repeating patterns create a profound sense of peace and order and minimalist harmony. It is an architecture of pure tranquility.
art in the end?
Is a human attempt to capture the harmony of nature and to hold it still so that we can look at it. The painter, the sculptor, the architect, they are all, in their own way, trying to find this golden ratio, this divine proportion, and use it to build a small moment of perfect, human-made peace.
And now,
Let us drift from the things we see to the things we hear. For this golden number is not just found in space, but in the unfolding of time. The golden ratio can be found in the structure of a song. It is perhaps the sound of harmony. Musicians and composers have, for centuries, used this ratio to structure their music. The climax of a piece of music, the most powerful, emotional moment, is often placed at the point. This is the point that is approximately 61.8% of the way through the entire song. It is a way of building tension and releasing it that feels naturally, perfectly satisfying. The Hungarian composer Béla Bartók in the 20th century was known to have consciously and explicitly used the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio to structure his music, from his grandest orchestral works to his simplest string quartets. He built his compositions on this mathematical scaffolding. The French composer Claude Debussy created shimmering, impressionistic music that feels like the natural world. And his most famous orchestral work, La Mer, or The Sea, is a masterpiece of sound.
and when it is analyzed,
The structure of its movements, the timing of its crescendos, are found to be built upon the golden section. It is a painting of the sea, built with the sea's own geometry. Even in the works of the great masters,
like Beethoven,
this pattern is said to be found. Music theorists have analyzed his famous Fifth Symphony and his piano sonatas, and they have found that the sections, the introduction, the development, the recapitulation, are divided in time by Fibonacci numbers and by the golden ratio. It is a hidden structural rhythm, holding the music together. In our modern age, some musicians have explored this number with incredible conscious precision. The song Lateralis by the band Tool is a famous example. The very rhythm of the vocals, the syllables in the lines, follows the Fibonacci sequence 1,
1, 2,
3, 5,
8, 5.
3, a rising and falling wave. It is a piece of modern music built like a mathematical seashell. The structure of a classical violin is a harmony of form and sound designed to resonate. The beautiful hourglass curves, the placement of the F-holes, the precise scroll at the top, are all said to be guided by the golden ratio. The luthier, the violin maker, is both a craftsman and a geometer, shaping the wood to capture the most beautiful, resonant frequencies. It is an instrument that is a piece of playable golden geometry. Our very perception of sound itself is logarithmic, not linear. We do not hear a sound that is twice as loud as twice the volume. We hear in decibels on a logarithmic scale. This is the same principle as the golden spiral. It grows by multiplication, not addition. Our ears and our minds are built to understand the world in ratios, not in simple, flat amounts. We are designed to hear the world in spirals of sound, the frequencies in a musical scale.
The notes that sound harmonious together
Are based on pure mathematical ratios. The perfect fifth, one of the most stable and powerful intervals, is a simple 3:2 ratio. The octave is a 2:1. These simple Fibonacci-related ratios are the very building blocks of all the music we have ever known. They are the sound of mathematics, even the rhythm of poetry.
A well-crafted sonnet
Is often guided by a golden moment, the volta or the turn. The moment where the poem's idea shifts is often placed at the phi point of the poem. It is a structural climax, just like in a piece of music, that gives the poem a feeling of perfect, satisfying balance. The intervals of the octave,
and the keys of a piano are even said to hold a Fibonacci secret.
an octave from C to C has 13 keys. 8 of them are white and 5 of them are black.
Of 8 and 13.
The pure, simple numbers of the sequence right at our fingertips. It is a quiet reminder of the mathematics hidden in the music, the construction of a grand piano, the way the strings are laid out, the harp, the very shape of the curved wooden case is a logarithmic curve. This shape is not just for elegance, it is a physical requirement to accommodate the different proportional lengths of the strings from the short, high trebles to the long, deep bass. It is a case built to hold a harmony, the feeling of a lullaby.
A simple rocking melody
Is a form of audible geometry. Its rhythm is a simple, predictable pattern, a gentle rocking motion. It is sound that is designed to feel safe and balanced and proportional. It is a golden ratio for the mind. Music, in the end, is simply a form of audible geometry. It is proportion and ratio and pattern.
unfolding not in space but in time.
It is a way for us to hear the same harmonies that a plant grows or a galaxy forms. It is the universe's song.
And now,
Let us drift away from our world, away from our art and our music, and into the silent, endless deep of the cosmos. For the golden ratio is not just for life. It is for the very fabric of the universe itself. When we look through our telescopes at distant galaxies,
millions of light years away,
we see them.
vast swirling cities of stars.
Called spiral galaxies, the great curving arms, where new stars are being born, are perfect logarithmic spirals shaped by gravity and time.
It is the golden spiral written across the universe in letters of light, our own home.
The Milky Way galaxy is one of these. We are living inside a vast, barred spiral galaxy. We are drifting on one of its shorter spur arms.
About 2/3 of the way out from the center.
We are living and breathing inside one of these grand, cosmic spirals. On our own planet, we see this same vast, spiraling shape. In the colossal swirling arms of a hurricane, the shape
A logarithmic spiral.
is not a coincidence. It is the most efficient, stable way for energy to be released. A vortex of wind and rain, all following the same geometric golden path.
It is a galaxy made of weather, and from the vast
To the small, the tiny swirling vortex of water as it drains from a tub or a sink often forms this same spiral. The forces are different, but the mathematics of a vortex, the geometry of a fluid in motion,
is universal.
it is a reminder that the same physical laws shape a galaxy and a drop of water. The golden ratio is even said to bring harmony to the orbits of the planets in our own solar system. The relationships between the planets' orbital periods, the time it takes them to go around the Sun, are linked by these harmonious ratios. It is as if they have settled over billions of years into a balanced, phi-related rhythm. The relationship between the Earth and Venus is a famous example. For every 13 orbits of Venus,
The Earth completes almost exactly 8 and 13.
two neighbors in the Fibonacci sequence. This relationship is so precise that if you were to trace the pattern of Venus in our sky, it would draw a beautiful 5-pointed rose, a pentagram, every 8 years. It is a slow celestial dance choreographed by Fichte. In the 1980s, a new and once impossible form of matter was discovered. It was called a quasi-crystal. For 100 years, scientists believed all crystals had to have a repeating, symmetrical pattern like a checkerboard. But these new crystals had a perfect, orderly structure that never repeated the secret to their aperiodic pattern. A pattern of perfect order, but no repetition. Was the golden ratio, the very atomic structure of this new matter. This impossible crystal was built upon Fichte. It was a discovery that changed our very understanding of order, and it won the Nobel Prize. It is a state of matter built like a non-repeating poem. The golden ratio is even being found in the strange and wondrous world of quantum physics. When scientists study the spin of certain atoms, they have found that the golden ratio of 1.618 appears in the mathematics.
It is a signature of harmony at the very subatomic foundational level of our reality. It is even whispered.
In the mathematics of black holes, the golden ratio, phi, is linked to the specific heat of certain black holes. It seems to describe a tipping point, a point of perfect balance between a black hole that is stable and one that is not. It is the number of cosmic gravitational harmony let us drift back to Earth, to the ocean. The simple, powerful shape of an ocean wave as it curls and breaks is a golden spiral. As a wave travels from the deep ocean and approaches the shallow shore, it slows, it rises, and it curls over on itself. This beautiful, perfect tube or barrel is a logarithmic spiral, a spiral of pure moving energy. It is a fleeting, liquid sculpture of Peved in the desert. The wind blows the sand, and it does not form random piles. It forms beautiful crescent-shaped Bartian dunes. The proportions of these dunes, their gentle windward slope, and their steep leeward side curve are a study in natural fluid dynamics.
A study in proportion.
It is the Earth sculpted by the wind on other planets. Like Mars, we see these same familiar spiraling patterns. We see the vast swirling storms in the atmosphere of Jupiter, like the Great Red Spot, a vortex larger than our entire Earth. We see the proportional gaps in the rings of Saturn, gaps that are carved by the harmonious gravitational pull of its moons. The stability of our entire solar system, the reason it has not flown apart over billions of years, may be thanks to this most irrational number. Because phi is so non-repeating, it prevents resonances. It prevents orbits from lining up too perfectly and pulling each other apart. It is the number of gentle, long-term stability. To look out at the cosmos is to see a grand mathematical symphony. The same number that grows a flower
And shapes a shell.
also hangs the galaxies in the sky and balances the orbits of the planets. It is a profound and peaceful and humbling thought. There is a feeling of deep connection in knowing that the spiral in a seashell
And the spiral in a galaxy.
are described by the same simple, elegant number. It is a reminder that we are not separate from the universe. We are a part of it. We are a way that the universe thinks about itself. These silent, invisible laws, these mathematical whispers, shape our entire world. They are not cold or unfeeling. They are the laws of harmony.
Of growth, of efficiency, and of beauty.
They are the scaffolding of reality, and now,
as our long journey winds down.
It is gentle and it is wise to ask a quiet question. Are all of these connections real? Or is the human mind simply built to see patterns? The human mind is a powerful and a beautiful thing, and it is above all a pattern-seeking mind. We are built to find connections, to see faces in the clouds, to hear rhythms in the rain, and to find order in what might just be beautiful, wondrous chaos.
This is a gift.
It is the universe's way of noticing itself. Perhaps in our eagerness, we are like a Texas sharpshooter,
A fabled marksman who first shoots at a barn,
and then only afterwards draws the bullseye around the hole to prove his perfect aim. We too may be drawing the bullseye around the things that just happen to be. 1.6 It is good to rest the mind and know the difference between something that is close and something that is exact. Many of these ratios, in a building, or a painting, or a human face, are not precisely 1.6/339 to an infinite degree. They are approximations. They are close to, but perhaps that is the true beauty of it. Perhaps why it is not a rigid, ironclad law, but a suggestion,
a tendency,
a desire that is built into the fabric of physics and life. Life does not follow it perfectly, but it aspires to this perfect number. It reaches for it. It uses it as a beautiful, harmonious guide. It is a perfection that life loves to rhyme with, and so it does not matter if the ratio is perfect or just beautifully close. The comfort comes from the tendency itself. The comfort comes from knowing that the universe
and the life within it
is not a random accident. It is a system that leans and drifts and bends towards harmony, towards balance, towards beauty. The golden ratio, then, is a concept,
a beautiful idea.
As much as it is a physical law, it is a tool for us to understand our world, and it is a powerful and a wonderful symbol of unity. It is a number that bridges the two halves of our mind.
It is a number that is perfectly, coldly logical.
And at the same time, it is the source of a feeling
of wonder, of beauty,
and of a deep, spiritual, unspoken harmony in the stock market. Traders will look for Fibonacci retracement levels, believing that the chaotic human emotion of the market will also somehow follow this golden harmonious path. It is a search for a predictable pattern in the unpredictable heart of humanity. This number is, in the end, a guide for looking closer. It is a reason to pause and to count the petals on a flower. It is a reason to look at the spirals in a pine cone. It is a reason to truly see the proportions of a work of art. It is a key that unlocks a deeper, more mindful level of wonder. There is a simple, deep beauty in a number that never ever repeats, a number that goes on for infinity and never finds a pattern, and yet is the source of all the most beautiful patterns we know. It is a perfect mathematical paradox. Perhaps it is best to think of the golden ratio as a mathematical whisper. It is not a loud, commanding voice. It is a quiet, gentle suggestion,
a hint
of a deep, underlying order.
And you can hear it.
If you listen closely, the feeling of harmony that Phi evokes in us, that sense of rightness and peace, is real. That is not an illusion. It is the feeling of our own pattern-seeking mind, recognizing a familiar, ancient, and fundamental friend. Perhaps it is best to think of the golden ratio as a golden thread. It is a single, shimmering thread that seems to be woven through everything. It connects the pollen of a flower to the bones in our hand, to the music in our ears, and to the vast, swirling galaxy above our heads. It is a quiet, mathematical signature of a single, unified cosmos. The golden ratio is a tool for quiet contemplation. It is a single, simple idea that you can hold in your mind as you drift off to sleep.
A single perfect ratio
that seems to hold the harmony of the entire world inside of it. It is a number that represents endless, fractal, harmonious growth. A number that spirals inwards to the infinitely small, and outwards to the infinitely large, and is always perfectly itself. The ratio is perhaps a lullaby from the universe itself,
a simple mathematical song
to reassure us that the world is not just chaos, but is a place of deep and abiding and intelligent beauty. And as you let your mind drift, let go of the numbers,
let go of the facts,
and just hold on to that feeling, that gentle feeling of wholeness, that feeling of a small part relating to a large part, and a large part relating to the whole. The final comforting thought is that our world is not just random, not just chaos. It is built upon a foundation of profound and simple mathematical beauty. This beauty is not cold or hard. It is the beauty of growth, of life, of harmony. It is a logic that blossoms. It is the comforting secret lullaby that the universe is always whispering to itself. And so, a long, gentle journey through the whispers of the golden ratio draws to a close. We have drifted from the simple, elegant line
to the heart of a sunflower and the seeds of a pine cone. We have seen this golden thread woven into the chambered shell of the nautilus,
the bones of our own hands, the very code of our DNA, and the vast, silent, spiraling arms of the cosmos. You are a part of this harmony. You are not separate from it. The very rhythm of your breathing, the branching of your lungs, the quiet golden beat of your healthy heart are all an echo of this one ancient golden song. You are a living, breathing, and dreaming expression of the universe's tendency toward beauty. And now, there is nothing left to do,
nothing left to solve, nothing to count,
nothing to find. Your journey is complete. Let the thought of this gentle golden harmony be a comfort, a sign that all things are connected and all is in balance. Let your mind drift, like a seed on a gentle spiraling breeze,
floating softly down
to a place of deep, restful,
and peaceful sleep. Good night.